15.8 The risks of don't ask, don't tell. When I don't want to know turns into why didn't you tell me? Don't ask, don't tell, or DADT, can sound appealing at first, especially if one partner is more private or more easily overwhelmed by sexual details. One person agrees not to ask, the other agrees not to share unless asked. Things stay calm. The home front stays uncomplicated and free from paper cuts. But here's the thing. Not knowing doesn't mean not feeling. Not knowing can be more painful than knowing. DADT often trades short-term comfort for long-term shock. The paper cut isn't just in what you hear, it's in how and when you hear it. There is a big difference between deciding I don't need every detail and being blindsided in public by information you didn't even know existed. Fuck up. The information snowball. Ellie was much more private than her partner Will. She didn't enjoy parsing every detail in his sex life and felt calmer when their daily conversations focused on their own connection and life events rather than his other dates and talking poly all the time. So they agreed informally on a kind of soft don't ask, don't tell. He could tell her if something was important, but she didn't want to know the play-by-play. When Will told her he was heading into the city for a night out with his friend Rob, Ellie didn't think much of it. She trusted him. She also trusted that if anything meaningful happened, he would mention it. Then came the play party. Ellie decided to attend, expecting a typical night, flirting, play, familiar faces. Instead, she found herself in the middle of a conversation vortex. Story after story bubbled up about the wild night at the sex club with Will and Rob. Apparently, 8 people at the party had met Will there. He'd slept with more than one of them. 2 of them had started casually dating him afterwards. Ellie hadn't heard any of this from Will. She wasn't angry about the sex. She was blindsided by the context, mortified even. She felt exposed, embarrassed, and stripped of the opportunity to process privately before being smacked in the face with the information publicly. The issue wasn't that Will was being Will, it was that he hadn't considered what it would feel like for her to hear about this entire other sexual adventure from a third party in a public place. This is the DADT snowball. One night of no big deal, plus another, until a whole narrative has formed around you that you're the last to hear. Sometimes DADT works temporarily well to reduce anxiety, but over time it can create emotional distance, unresolved feelings, and a backlog of unprocessed experiences. The longer the backlog, the more intense the impact when it inevitably rolls downhill toward you. If you're going to use don't ask, don't tell at all, you need to be honest with yourself about the version that actually supports your nervous system, not the one you think you should be okay with. See Chapter 8 on transparency versus disclosure. Exercise. Nervous system regulation. If you're a don't ask, don't tell arrangement, ask yourself, what information do I genuinely not want? And this is the hard part. Ask yourself why you don't want it. What information do I actually need in order to feel safe in shared spaces? Is there a difference between graphic sexual detail and basic relational context for me? Then talk to your partner. You might say something like, I don't need to hear about every play party hookup, but if you're going to be sleeping with multiple people who are part of our community, I'd like to know before we walk into a shared play space so I'm not surprised. Or, if something casual becomes ongoing, I'd like you to flag that before I hear about it from other people. You can also agree on a quiet heads-up mechanism, a short text before a shared event, a quick check-in on the way, a phrase or signal that means we should step aside for a minute, there's context you deserve from me, not from others. Boundaries are meant to protect you, but don't ask, don't tell boundary that prevents you from preparing emotionally can become its own source of paper cuts. Takeaway, not knowing can cut just as deep as knowing. Ask for what keeps you steady.